Hello. Thought I'd make a video because I need to make a video. I haven't made one in a while, and it's good to give people an update on how I'm doing. Had a bit of brain fail lately due to the fact that I still have invisible disabilities related to my brain hemorrhage that I suffered about 4.5 years ago now, just over 4.5 years. And it affects me in many ways that you can't see. And when I'm particularly active mentally and physically, or mentally or physically, I get brain fail. It's not really the scientific term, but I experience difficulties. I don't know what the actual term would be, but I do have, it's kind of like my brain shuts down to protect itself because it's saying that I'm doing too much. But it's interesting because sometimes it can be completely random, and it's not necessarily that I just need rest, because it can happen when I'm doing very little in the week and then it just suddenly hits me. And it's just because that area of my brain is damaged and it'll never be 100%. And this is just something that happens occasionally. People ask me about it and I just say, well, you can try your best, but it's never going to be 100%. And it's much better than it was, because this used to be every day. And I was on all that medication for the epilepsy because it's not just seizure activity, but affects me in other ways. And it doesn't do that so much anymore. It's quite mild most of the times, but then I have those days where it's just brain shuts down, doesn't want to do anything. Then I have to listen to it and say, yeah, okay, I'll give you a rest for a while. So that's what I've been doing, which is kind of boring, but I've been sending loads of emails and stuff. People like to say when they're busy, they're sending emails. So that's what I've been doing. I've been sending hundreds of emails, literally hundreds. So I'm really busy, and busyness is good. No, I've been doing stuff, which is helpful to my future career, and that's what people care about in life. No, no, I've been thinking about lots of things, not just my career and stuff, because my career is related to improving, well, it's related to trying to make some kind of inroads to understanding my disease, if I still have disease. I think I do, because I'm negative and I like to think that it's protective. Yeah, I've had problems with this eye recently as well, so it's kind of shut. Might look like sometimes I'm winking at someone, but no, or just like I'm a bit weird, I don't know, squinting. But yeah, try to think positively about these things, because it's good to think positively. I met someone recently who kind of reinforced that idea for me. Not that I wasn't thinking about it, but just it helps. It helps when you have people you can relate to. And I could relate to this particular person. And we met recently, which was quite cool. Same kind of diagnosis. It's all relative, of course. Everyone's a bit different. Every tumour is a bit different. Every tumour is unique. Every brain tumour is unique. and there are over 120 different types of brain tumours. They're all genetically very different, and appearance-wise they're very different. Location is quite different. Appearance is quite different. Probably said that, but yeah, that's quite different. Loads of things. The person is different, so that's going to change how that tumour progresses as well. So lots of considerations. I've had loads of genetic tests too. And I'm about to have more, but on the tumour, not on me. And the tumour's a part of me, or it was at least. So it's kind of, in a strange way, you have a kind of a, well, I do at least, a strange bond with it, where I think, well, that's a part of me. It's like a little baby. No, I don't think like that. It's like an evil baby. If you were to produce like an antichrist type child, that's kind of what I would think. So yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah, my tumour's undergoing new testing. It's going under the next generation testing, which has nothing to do with Star Trek, but is to do with newer kind of classifications. It's not really, it's new-ish because it wasn't really, it was only just coming into fashion. Not really into fashion, but I can't think of the right word, but it was only just coming into being through lots of discussions and arguments amongst pathologists. It was only just coming into being at the time when I said I'd like my tumour to be kept and poked around with. Usually they just do tests on glioblastoma tumours, so mine was an anaplastic astrocytoma. And it was an unusual one because it was a highly vascular anaplastic astrocytoma that was encased around a cavernous hemangioma, which is a cluster of abnormal blood vessels that exploded in my brain. It's a lovely image. But yeah, I've wanted to have it looked at for a long time, and looked at again to see if it was the correct diagnosis at first, and also just to test for a few other things. So there are various viruses that are expressed in different brain tumours, so we can look at that. And it'd just be interesting to have a look at it, have a poke around, I think. So yeah, that's one thing. I'm having a bunch of test results come back, blood test results, in the next few weeks. So that should be really interesting. Some of which can act as biomarkers to suggest future progression, or hopefully no progression, of malignancy specific to brain cancer. So that's quite useful if it's valid, if it doesn't get confused, if those markers don't get muddled up with what could be suggestive of just what you'd see with brain damage, because I do have some brain damage. But even then it's useful, because then I can attempt to improve that, and that will improve my symptoms. So I won't get that kind of brain fail that I get occasionally. So I can manage that better. So yeah, I'm working on other aspects of my life as well. My social life, also dating. That's kind of an interesting area of my life. It's interesting in that it's not that interesting. I've gone on a few dates, but they haven't really, not really, I'm still not really sure what I'm looking for, or if I'm really ready for it. So, yeah, I've been on dates with different people, very different kinds of people. And my last one was a while ago, so I don't know how things would be now, but it's an interesting area of my life, or it could be. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that. It kind of made me realize that maybe I'm not. So I have to be patient about that. And I'm happy to do that. It's fine. It's not really a priority at the moment. It could be. It just depends. It's not hard meeting people, but meeting the right person can be. So yeah, all things to think about. And I'll try and update about my blood tests when I get them. I'm having a bunch. One's for just general brain chemistry, and the others are for biomarkers and nutritional status and loads of other things. They're also just the battery of tests I normally have, which is just a bunch of standard stuff. Nothing exciting. So yeah, I'll try and update in a couple of weeks about how that all goes and how my projects go. So I've got a busy few weeks coming up, and I'm optimistic about it, but cautious at the same time. But I think I can get stuff done because I'm focused at the moment. I wasn't for a while, but I am now. So yeah, and it was. I think I can do this. I just have to have more belief in myself. Sometimes I lack that, so I just need to give myself a little pep talk and just make things happen.